I'll put a date, put a time on.
Well, that puts that on the film too, huh?
Right. Um, we're going here. We're in the kind of the nice room here in the Hatfield home.
Okay.
Milt, you want to introduce yourself?
Oh yes. My name is Milton Hatfield. I'm 83 years old. I live at 19018 US 20, Bristol, Indiana, and I've been flying since 1926. I have a commercial license, an instrument rating, an instructor's rating, an AMP license, and I've built new and rebuilt old airplanes all my life. I would like to share with you some of my experiences with flying wings. I had the pleasure and opportunity to fly flying wing built and designed by Dr. Snyder in South Bend, Indiana in 1935, and I was quite impressed with the performance because I had experience with other aircraft with the same size engines, and the Arab would outperform them, and it was an unusual aircraft in that it would have very short takeoff and short field landing characteristics. Um, I also would like to share with you information and pictures of flying wings that I built more recently using modern airfoils and modern engines and of a more modern design. Uh, the first I call the Little Bird, and this is sort of a picture of the Little Bird taking off. In 5 seconds you're in the air and going up like a homesick angel. Um, this aircraft only weighed 248 pounds, had a 28 horsepower Rotex engine, and it did quite well. First time it was a little nose heavy because I used some of the weight and balance systems that the Arab had used. And the Arab had what was known as an M6 airfoil, and the leading edge was straight across, which gave them an entirely different center of lift. I have quite a bit of sweepback in mine, and consequently it moved the center of lift into a different position. I adjusted that and made quite a few other adjustments, and then I designed a newer airplane and incorporated a fiberglass fuselage which weighs 42 pounds, and built the wings with wood, covered them with Decron, and I increased the horsepower and put an electric starter on it, and I have an airplane that will get out of the ultra class as far as speed is concerned, and the performance is still very good, and it gets off the ground in about 5 seconds or about 150-foot run, climbs at about 45-degree angle, and cruises, it'll go up to 80 miles an hour without any trouble. Cruises very well at 60. And in a little bit we'll show you some of the mechanics of the airplane that I'm rebuilding and fixing up for production. I have molds made to reproduce the bodies, and I have jigs made to reproduce the ribs, and welding jigs that will make up the steel structures, and we'll go down the shop in a minute and I'll show you that stuff.
The off-camera person in this video is George Watt of Elkhart, Indiana. My claim to fame is this is my camcorder that we're using. The first magazine that Milt held up here was the March 1987 article in Sport Aviation called Milt's Little Bird. Shows the construction, the early Arab, and the first plane that he called Little Bird, 1987. A more recent article was February 1990 in Kit Planes, article by Mike Knack and Kit Plains, Flying Little Bird. It shows the improved Little Bird 2. We'll go down into the shop and take some pictures of these airplanes. Okay, we're back on again now.
These pictures show the fiberglass fuselage with the wood-ribbed construction prior to covering. This is a blade of one of the propellers one of the propeller blades that we bought from Precision Propeller, and I sent back because it appeared to have a crack in it. They assured me that it was okay, but they replaced it with the one without cracks. These pictures on this side shows the same aircraft fully covered and painted. This view is straight on, this is straight on, and this is 3/4 rear view. It is 19-foot spread. It weighs 312 pounds with a battery and a charger and radio in it. So it got out of the ultralight class when they added the extra equipment. This shows the same airplane without the cowling and the engine installation and paint job. This is a composite picture here showing a takeoff and various shots on the ground. And these are the steel parts that are in the airplane. Like this is where the landing gear legs slide into, and this is where the wing spars attach. And the seat is set on here. The control stick is built into the front of that structure like in here. Very simple mixer. This is the nose gear. This is the rudder pedals. And this is the brake pedals. This is the brake setup on a wooden, this is a hickory landing gear, and it's very flexible and does a good job. It's been in 3 years and it's in good shape yet. And this steel structure bolts on the bottom, and then this is a brake system to help steer and stop the airplane. This is a picture of the Little Bird number 1 from the rear 3/4 view. And of course this is all fabric covered over a little light stick framework. And this is an aerial view of the number 2 flying. This is another aerial view of it flying. And this shows the control stick and the mixer. By moving the stick sideways, you get action like this, and by pulling back and forth on it, it raises and lowers both elevons, which makes a very, very simple control system. Not much to tell you about that, or this either. We also started to build a model of the thing and never got it done. It was too much more fun working on the real thing. An aerial view of a flying wing going over the top of the house.
Now we're on, Milt. Tell me what you got here.
This is the fiberglass mold to make the fuselage for the Little Bird number 3, and every line on it is curved. Nothing flat or straight on this thing. We rounded everything out so there'd be no oil canning. The part that comes out of here weighs 42 pounds and is complete except for the center section.
Back here under the wing, we have Little Bird 2 under the wing of a 150 to show you what the size is.
A lot more light in this, George. You just open the door.
Yeah, right. Well,
Want to open the door first?
no, this is okay. What do you got there?
This weighs 7 pounds, and it serves as an elevator, and they are on both. This is the left one, and this is the mold to make the leading edge. That's the mold for the shape and rigidity. It's 8 foot long. Fiberglass leading edge, fiberglass wingtip, and wooden ribs. Now, these ribs are exceptionally strong and made up of two little squares on the top, on the bottom, and diagonal braces across them, and it can stand all kinds of twisting and pulling, and it's very strong. And it's light. This rib weighs 1.25 pounds. The big rib weighs 2 pounds. It gives you an idea how little weight goes into the aircraft. This is quite thin, so it's necessary to put little strips under here so that this won't buckle or well can in when the fabric tightens up on it. This is a Rotex 277 engine with a built-in fan and cooling system. And it's going to be operated in an upright position. Eliminate fouling and spark plugs and so forth. And the nose gear, telescopes, and the tubing is chrome plated to assure no galling or excessive wear.
Okay, I've changed positions here. You want to go ahead?
Piano hinge on the elevon, so we get a nice smooth action. This one is covered with Stitz fabric. Increase the weight 1.5 pounds by having it covered. Rudder runs in a cavity so that there's no excessive air on that. And it weighs 3.5 pounds.
Right now, Milt is on the telephone with somebody in Seattle, Washington. I'll take a few more pictures of little bird number 3.
But his wife had a stroke, so he's he worked from home. Well, it's good to hear from you, Mr. Goodman, and I'd like to hear from you again. If you're out our way, stop. And I hope I can be at Oshkosh this year and show it again. Well, we're not, if you're...
Years of his life in the air. Tonight, Linda Kaufman introduces us to Milt Hatfield, a remarkable Elkhart County man. He's someone you should know.
Meet 79-year-old Milt Hatfield, retired businessman, active aviator. And this is his dream machine, a flying wing ultralight. Its short wings enable it to take off in 5 seconds from a field in his backyard. He designed it, built it, and this week flew it for the first time, one of his biggest thrills in 60 years of flying. It's the type of plane aviation experts say can't fly, but these pictures are evidence it does.
It gives me pleasure in doing what's impossible. And I hope to show the world that the idea is conceivable and it would fit into our future. Matter of fact, I feel that this design would probably outperform the ship that just completed the trip around the world. Much more stability, and much more room to carry the people and carry more fuel.
The Stars and Stripes model is a new and improved version of an aircraft he built 2 years ago that was actually mistaken for a UFO. This plane was first attempt at recreating an Arab Hatfield flew in the 30s. When not in the air, he's on the ground reinventing airplanes, waiting in the wings, a folding model that can be towed in a trailer.
I learned years ago that there's limits to what you can do, and I try to stay within those limits.
Hatfield may have learned the sky's not the limit, but there's just no clipping his wings anytime soon. Milt Hatfield, someone you should know. Linda Kaufman, Newswatch 28.
Boy, what a man, what a plane. You could probably take that thing off your driveway if it was just a little longer.
It looks like